Welcome to Photo 4, Introduction to Digital Photography. Um, so are you Allison? Is that right?
Oh,
Uh,
that's my girlfriend's
your
name. No,
girlfriend's name? Okay.
let me edit that. I am Charles.
Charles. Okay, great. Excellent. So Charles was saying he had photography in high school. Have you guys had any background in photography?
No.
Ryan Sitlali? No?
Um, yes, and I mean I do a lot more video,
Uh-huh.
recording things.
Okay. Have you had a photography class at all?
No,
No.
no, it's
Okay.
like on my own.
Just curious. So this class does not assume any previous knowledge of photography. So if you do have some, you might be a little bored at the beginning, though. I think it's good to have a review, and often good to have another teacher tell you the same things. Sometimes you pick something up in a different way that's helpful. I hope. It's a little more difficult, obviously, with everything online. It's nice to meet in person, obviously, though meeting online does have its advantages as well. Um, that said, let's get started. I'll go over the syllabus, and then if you have any questions, etc., and during, please feel free to ask. Okay.
Okay. I do have to leave at 1 because I'm actually at work right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna log out, but my fiance is actually recording this at home. That's why there's 2 of me on here.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's
Um,
um,
yeah.
that's fine if you have to leave. And also, I am recording this, and I will post it to Canvas. Okay.
Okay. I just thought I would log in
That's
during
great.
my lunch break. So
No, I'm glad you did. Thank
yeah.
you. All right. So welcome to Photo 4, Introduction to Digital Photography. The information that we'll go over in the beginning, the basics of photography, is the same information that is covered in Photo 1, which is Intro to Black and White Photography, and also Photo 7, which is called Exploring Visual Expression, something like that, which is an intro class but deals more with composition rather than technical stuff. So they all cover the basics of photography. We all cover them. So here's the first page of the syllabus. Hopefully you've had a chance to visit our Canvas site. And that, of course, is our classroom, essentially. So let's go over this, and then we'll look at Canvas briefly, and very briefly look at Lightroom, which I'll go over in a bit. Okay, so welcome to Photo 4. This course is an introduction. Oh, I'll back up a little. My name is Sita Bhattacharjee. Please call me Sita. I am best reached via email. And I also have office hours on Wednesdays from 12:30 to 2:30. So please feel free to drop in during those hours. The Zoom invitation is the same as for this meeting, and that is posted on Canvas in the modules as well. If you can't make my office hours, let me know and we can arrange to meet some other time via Zoom, obviously. Okay. So this course is an introduction to the technical and aesthetic properties of digital photography, with an emphasis on the use of the digital SLR camera as a tool for electronic photographic image making. So this is a digital SLR. SLR stands for single lens reflex camera, and I suppose I should center that, right? And this is the type of camera that has been used by the majority of, certainly of amateur photographers, but also many professional photographers for the last 50 or 60 years. So this is a traditional SLR camera. It uses film. And obviously we're not using film in this class. So if you want to, you're welcome to, and then you can scan the negatives if you choose to do so. But the basic functions are the same, the way it functions. And that will be gone over in the modules. All that information, that basic information is there. So additionally, you will work at creating efficient digital workflows using Adobe Lightroom as the primary digital darkroom. So instead of working in the wet darkroom, as we do in black and white photography, we use Adobe's Lightroom to manipulate our images. You will learn the technical aspects of photography, as well as how to use the camera as a tool for creating art and expressing conceptions, objectives, etc. You are encouraged to employ your aesthetic, intellectual, and emotional concerns as a basis for your photographic expressions. So more simply put, your life around you, issues you may have, or interests, dislikes that you would like to show photographically. So although no previous knowledge of photography or photo editing is required, you must be familiar with such basic computer operations as opening and saving documents, file management, copy and paste functions, etc., which it's hard for me to imagine in this day and age that you wouldn't know how to do that, but anyway. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the measures put in place to slow its spread, this class, which normally would be taught in the De Anza Digital Photo Lab, will be taught online. Students must have regular access to a computer with high-speed internet access and that's redundant, isn't it? Well, high-speed internet access and be familiar with using the internet, which I can't imagine you wouldn't be. This class will require the use of Adobe Creative Cloud software applications. If you do not already have access to the Adobe Creative Cloud software suite, De Anza College and Adobe will provide access to you for the duration of it says semester, it should be quarter. You will need to set up a free account with adobe.com, and if you don't already have one. So I sent an email, I think, to that effect as well. So if you don't have Adobe Lightroom, and that's Lightroom Classic, by the way, if you don't have it, don't buy it. De Anza and Adobe will give you access to it for at least over the course of this quarter. Beyond that, you would have to buy it. But there are a couple of sites, well, Adobe and also one other site that gives students a significant discount. So again, don't buy it, all right? You should be receiving an email this week from Adobe with respect to this. And so if you do not, let me know and I will let the dean know and we'll get you access. Okay. You will need a digital camera, preferably a DSLR, digital single lens reflex camera, or one that allows you some measure of control over the functions of the camera, such as the aperture and the shutter. Those are the most important ones for you to have control over because those control the amount of light entering the camera. And some of the exercises and things that we'll be doing in class require you to change these mechanisms, the settings. Students are encouraged to have their cameras with them for the first few classes. If you have questions about your camera, please feel free to ask me. I do not pretend to know each and every camera model. So if you have the instruction manual, that would be helpful. All right. As this is an online class, you must be familiar with Canvas. I'm sure you guys have used Canvas here at De Anza over, if you were here last quarter and last year. But all course material and information will be found there. We will also periodically have Zoom meetings, and attendance is recommended. And my office hours will be via Zoom. And you will find the invitation for these meetings in the Zoom meetings invitation module on Canvas. You're not required to attend the Zoom meetings because this class is listed as asynchronous, which means we never actually meet. There are no scheduled meetings. So although attendance is recommended, it's definitely not required. And all Zoom meetings will be recorded and posted on Canvas. So if you can't make it, you can't make it, and that's okay. But you won't miss the information, such as it is, during the Zoom meetings. And most of the Zoom meetings we'll have, and there won't be that many, will be for going over the assignments. So looking at your work and talking about it. Okay. There is a recommended text for this class, which I forgot to bring into this room. I apologize. It is entitled Complete Digital Photography by Ben Long, the 9th edition. And the readings will be posted on Canvas. Again, it's recommended, it's not required. And you will not be tested on anything that is not there on Canvas. So again, you don't have to access it. In order to access the book, you need to go to completedigitalphotography.com/store. And there you can either purchase a printed version or you can purchase the ebook. Yeah, okay. Any questions? Anybody? No? Okay. So student learning outcomes, pardon me. This is, well, by the end of this quarter, you should be able to apply basic digital camera skills to create images and demonstrate a working knowledge of the digital darkroom using Adobe Lightroom. And that should be Adobe Lightroom Classic. So upon completion of this course, you should have learned the basics of photography using a digital camera. And you should also have a good base of information on Adobe Lightroom. Grading. This class is primarily, though not entirely, assignment driven. And evaluation or grading will be based upon a written exam, the timely submission of assignments, participation, and overall effort. Late assignments are accepted, but points may be deducted depending on the number of days or weeks late. Okay. If you are unhappy with a grade, please speak with me about it. And based on the strength and validity of your argument, I may or may not change your grade, but you may redo the assignment for a higher grade. And that's true of all the assignments except, of course, for the final assignment, which you wouldn't have time to redo. But for the other assignments, you may redo them if you are unhappy with your grade. All exams and projects will be graded on a 1,000-point scale. A minimum passing grade is a D- or 60%, and then the breakdown of grading follows out of 1,000 points. And then the specific assignments, assignments 1 and 2 are worth 100 points each for 200 points. Assignments 3 and 4 are worth 200 points each for a total of 400. The final exam is worth 200 points, and participation, which I'll talk about in a moment, also worth 200 points for a total of 1,000 points. And then there's a breakdown of grading and what this means. So A, of course, indicates excellent work, and you can assume you can read that. B indicates good, very good work. C indicates average work. A D indicates that you kind of did the very bare minimum. And of course, an F indicates that your work did not, was not acceptable. It wasn't up to par. We use the plus minus system, so there's more. You can fine tune it, I suppose. And I usually, if there's if there's any doubt there, I grade up rather than down. But again, you're welcome to talk with me at any time about grades. The assignments. So these are the 4 assignments that you will be doing. The first deals with technical stuff. Well, actually, they all deal with technical stuff except for the last one. So the first deals with ISO bracketing and equivalent exposures. So using the basic information that is provided on Canvas and the modules. That's the first assignment. The second is depth of field, which deals with how much of the frame is in focus from the foreground to the background. The third is color temperature and white balance, which probably means very little to you now, but it will. And then the final assignment is you working in Lightroom, so manipulating images and turning them in. The final exam will be available during finals week, and you have to take it at some point during that week. The exam is on the technical stuff that we go over during the class. It is a multiple choice exam consisting of 25 questions. So the answer will be there in front of you. Okay. Finally, all work submitted for this course is to have been made for this class over the course of this academic quarter and not, therefore, prior to April 5th, 2021. So anything you turn in has to have been made over the course of this quarter and hopefully for this class. Can I tell if you have turned in the perfect image for an assignment that actually was that you took 2 years ago? Actually, I can. Usually, the information about the image is embedded into the image file. It's called the metadata, and so the information about the camera that you use, the lens, the settings of the camera, and the date that the image was made. All of that information is embedded into the file. So I can see when it was taken. Can you change the metadata? Yes, you can. It's a little bit of a pain to do, but you can certainly change it. I think it takes more effort to change the metadata than it does to take a few pictures, but there you have it. But please do the assignments and turn in work that you've done for the assignments. Okay. Participation. So though we will not be meeting in person, participation, which includes asking questions, making comments, and discussing your work and the work of your classmates, is still an important facet of education and learning. It says here, we will use the discussion module on Canvas as our means of communication. Actually, we will do that somewhat, but but you will be required to make comments on your classmates' work. And so you will randomly be assigned, I don't do it, Canvas does it. You'll randomly be assigned two people on whose work you will comment after the assignment has been turned in. And so those comments will be seen, though I think without your name, but the comments will be seen and read by whoever you've written them about, whoever's work you've written them about, and I see them as well. And your time is recorded by Canvas or on Canvas. And that's true of any time you log in and access Canvas, that time is recorded. Okay, disruptive behavior, obviously, that certainly doesn't apply during this time when we meet online, and I can't imagine it would apply to you anyway, but we do need to put this in our syllabi. So the college will enforce all policies and procedures set forth in the Standards of Student Conduct, see catalog. Any student disrupting the class may be asked to leave that class. Administrative follow-up may result. Academic integrity. So as a student at Yadza College, you join a community of scholars who are committed to excellence in the process of teaching and learning. Academic honesty, and honesty in general, of course, is fundamental to this community, and so on. We assume that all students will pursue their studies with integrity and honesty, that the work they submit is their own original work and work that accurately represents the time and effort applied. Cheating, plagiarism of written or visual information, or knowingly furnishing false information in the classroom or to the instructor is academic dishonesty and is a violation of the Honor Code. So you are expected to be familiar with the Honor Code, of which you've probably never heard, but it is available there in the catalog and so on. So bottom line, please don't cheat. Please do your own work. If you're caught cheating, trouble for you, and more important, trouble for me. So just do your best. Okay. If you have need, we have a Student Success Center, which is to help you out, with academic skills. They have tutoring and so on. And please don't hesitate to get in touch with them if you feel the need. They can be very, very helpful. So there it is. All right. Disabled student services, if you have need, we do have disabled student services. They too are very helpful. And they can get things done for you that you might not be able to do yourself. So if you, for example, need longer to take an exam, whatever, do register with them, get in contact with them, because they can really help you out. Okay. Important dates. Obviously, Monday, April 1st has come and gone, first day of the quarter. This coming Saturday is the last day to add quarter length classes, full length classes using an add code, and this date is enforced. Sunday, April 18th is the last day to drop full length classes for a full refund or credit. And it's also the last day to drop a class with no record of your ever having been here. After that time, you can still drop a class, but you'll get a W, which stands for withdrawn or withdrawn. So Friday, May 28th is the last day to drop a class and receive a W, after which time you cannot drop the class. So if you need to drop the class, and it says that above there, if for some inexplicable reason you don't like the class, you don't like me, or for whatever reason, if you can't take the class, do drop it. it's your responsibility. When I notice somebody hasn't been around for a while, I try and get in contact and see if everything's okay. Eventually, I will probably drop you, but I don't guarantee that I'll drop you. So if you don't want to take the class, it's to your advantage to drop it so that you don't get a W or, heaven forbid, an F at the very end if you haven't dropped it. Okay. So Friday, June 25th, which is the last day of the quarter, is the last day to request a pass, no pass grade option. That day is also the last date to request an EW, which is kind of like an excused withdrawal if the student has COVID-19 related reasons for withdrawing. And I don't know what kind of proof, if any, you need to provide the school for that. You'd have to check into that. But you can request an EW and it doesn't look as bad as a W. And then final exams, Monday, June 21st through Friday, June 25th. Seems pretty far away now, though the quarters go faster than expected with art classes anyway, I have found. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, Caroline.
So the final test, I've never done online classes, so is it open book? Can we use our notes?
Technically, no, it's not open book. Will I
Okay.
know that you have, whether you've done that or not? No, I can't monitor that. I assume, you have to know enough to find the information in your book, to know what you're looking for. So to answer your question, technically it is not open book. I will not know if you open your books, right? You have about an hour to do the exam, maybe 90 minutes, and you can take it twice. So, and it's worth doing if you are not sure how you did, because the higher of the grades will automatically be the one that is counted. Okay, so finally, I welcome your questions and comments, and I truly do. Please feel free to contact me with these or with any other concerns or issues you may have via email or during my office hours, or again, if my office hours don't work for you, we can arrange another time to meet. And finally, a picture of like the first digital camera invented by Steve Sasson in 1975, almost 50 years ago. And it recorded to cassette tapes. If you guys have ever seen those, I don't know. I grew up with cassette tapes, but you surely did not. Okay, and that's it for the syllabus. So any questions? I'll just quickly show you.
No.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Question, Caroline? No. Oh, sorry. Okay. Lightroom. So again, Lightroom Classic is what you need. And there are videos, of me going over Lightroom in detail on Canvas. But this is Lightroom. It consists of different modules, as we have on Canvas. So the library, develop, map, book, slideshow, print, and web. You'll spend the majority of your time in the library and especially in the develop module, which is where we work on images. So you can adjust the exposure, what's called the white balance, the color temperature, like so, and many other, that looks terrible. Many other controls over the images. this is not Photoshop, which is a very powerful application where you can put different images together. So Lightroom doesn't do that. But Lightroom is fantastic for working on images and also for organizing your images. So it's also a database, and you load images into Lightroom. And if you look on the left, you can see I have different categories, different listings. And they remain on wherever the original source is, and then they're also copied into a folder just for Lightroom. And one of the very nice things about Lightroom is that the original images are never changed. So if you've worked in Photoshop or some other applications that work with images, you know that when you work on them, the actual file is changed. And so you should always work on a copy so that your original remains intact. But every time you make an image or a version of it that you like, you need to save it as such. And you don't have to do that in Lightroom. It's really very nice in that way. It saves a lot of room on your hard drive. And also the information about what you did never disappears. So there's a history of what you did to each image, and that remains and pops up again every time you open that image. So it's really very nice. I can't recommend Lightroom highly enough. It's an excellent application. And once you get the hang of it, it's really pretty easy to use. Okay. Let me just go to, sorry, let me get back to, Zoom. And then let me just go to Canvas briefly so that we can take a look briefly at what I'm talking about. Right? All right. So here is our page, I guess, our classroom here in Canvas. And let me just go to the student view. So of course, the first page is the syllabus, plus any messages that I may have posted, and then the to-do lists of the assignments, which are not available to you yet. But here is the syllabus that we just went over. And at the bottom, the course summary with the assignments, and you'll see that if you click on them, you can't access them yet. So this is locked until, I guess, until Friday. So that's coming up. And then up here, as you know, you can access announcements, assignments, grades, people, other people in your class, the syllabus, quizzes, the modules. So the modules is where all of the information that you need is or resides. And so there's a welcome. And it's essentially an abbreviated version of what I just went over, you know, what this class is. And then how it works. So this online class accessed through Canvas is divided into modules. Each module deals with a photographic topic and contains readings, lectures, lecture notes, and in some cases, videos. The modules are presented in chronological order. So that is in the order in which you are to access them, that you're meant to access them. This does not mean that you cannot look ahead, so to speak. it's fine if you do so. And the order of the assignments mirrors the order of the module subjects. And so go ahead and get started on the readings and lectures as soon as possible. They should not take too long. There are lots of pictures. In this way, you should be able to keep up with the flow of the class pretty easily. And again, please email me with any questions or concerns that you may have. And remember to drop into my office hours whenever you have the need or desire. So back to the modules. There are resources, Canvas resources if you have questions on how to use Canvas, counselor information if you need any sort of counseling, academic, personal, whatever. Breakdown of the topics covered in the exam, which is at the end. The Zoom meetings, this is our office hour invitation. And then as we have more Zoom meetings, this is where they'll be posted. Looking at photographers and their work, there are a couple here and there will be more posted. Lightroom, so this area is where the instructional videos are, both ones that I have recorded and others that I feel are very useful. So this is where those are. And then the basics, then the technical stuff. So the basics of photography, the camera, the settings, and so on. And then lenses, different types of lenses, what they do. So there are readings, and then my lecture and the class notes that I used for the lecture, if you want to access those. And that's true for each section. At the end, it's usually at the end, my class notes that I wrote, presumably while lecturing, and then my own lectures, plus the readings. So controlling the light, entering the camera, how you use those controls, putting them together. Depth of field, which again is how much space in the frame is in focus from the foreground to the background. Color temperature and white balance, different types of light and so on. And then there will be work images for you to work on. And are those, I think, yeah, they're here, they're all active. And there will be more. So if you want to use images to practice on, to work on, they're here. And there will also be images posted, these and others, for you to work on for your final assignment. Okay. So that's that, I guess. Any questions? Anybody? No? Okay. Well, again, if you have questions, please feel free to contact me via email, come to my office hours. Yeah. So in that case, if there are no questions, then I think that we are done. And I hope to be seeing you or in contact with you over the course of the quarter. Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And I'll post this as soon as I can on Canvas. Okay. Take care. Stay
Great,
safe.
thank
Stay
you.
healthy. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.